we are back. Thanks for clicking on the link. Welcome to Good Energy. Enjoy the content, and everyone have a blessed day. And we are back. Welcome to the Indian Wells. We will be covering all of the matches today live, and I will be predicting them. Yes, the defending champion Paula Badosa, can she repeat after that 3-setter with Victoria Azarenka? That was an instant classic. Can she repeat? I don't know. In the history of this event, there's only been one lady to ever defeat, and we have to go back to 1990, 1991. Navratilova, yes, she did repeat, and the only person to defeat. However, there's been some other ladies that have come pretty close. Fernandez, we saw her capture the title in 1993. Steffi Graf took it in 94. Fernandez will come back in 1995 and win it. And what about that historic clip with Madison Keys where she chose to step down as coach? Unbelievable. Serena Williams would do it in 1999. Davenport took it in 2000, but Serena would come back in 2001 and take it. Yes. And how about Kim Clusters? I don't care what you say. I don't think she likes Serena that much. Took it in 2003. Justine Henin took it in 4. Clusters would come back in 2005. Azarenka, she won it a couple times. Yeah, that's right. Azarenka won it in 2012 and 2016. Azarenka is Serena Williams' bestie, in case you guys didn't know. Probably two of the most hated and loved players on tour as well. But Simona Halep, we do have some other players in attendance that have not won the Indian Wells twice, but they are current attendees that have won it overall. Simona Halep won it in 2015, and she's looking mighty good lately. And we saw Osaka have to go through a prime Serena Williams in 2018, where she captured it and bust on the scene, where everyone just fell in love with Osaka. And they would meet later that year in the US Open, which would be a memorable US Open. Serena Williams being docked a point there, that was pretty tough. That was very tough to overcome. Nonetheless, Osaka would win the US Open that year as well. Not in attendance, but currently active on tour to some degree. We hope she gets well and comes back. Bianca Andreescu. And well, technically we do have a defending champion. Elise Mertens won it in 19 with Sabalenka. 20 there was no Indian Wells, but she also won it last year with Heisch. So Mertens is a back-to-back champion. But that's doubles. We won't be covering doubles in this video. But Paula Badosa, can she repeat as the Indian Wells champion? It's going to be a tough draw this year. Let's take a look. The stars are here, that's right. Sabalenka, the heavy-hitting Belarus, in attendance. Iga Swiateks, who looked amazing against Anett Kontaveit. How will Anett Kontaveit rebound from that? That was a very tough defeat. She was crying, towel over the face. It almost looked like she gave up. Paula Badosa, she's here, the champ. Marie Sacre, the very, very strong, I call it the Greek goddess. And Pliskova, one of the best servers on tour, she is back. Garbiñe Muguruza, the versatile, vertical, horizontal play, the strength, the IQ. Ons Jabeur, one of the most versatile players on tour. She can mix it up just like Ashley Barty. And by the way, Ashley Barty is not in attendance. Ashley Barty will not be attendance here at the BNP Paribas Open or the Miami Open, 2 WTA 1000 events. I don't know. It seems lately like Ashley Barty, she gets a title or two and then she disappears with an injury. I don't know what's going on there. She seemed, I don't know, you know, just speculation. Maybe she is injured. I don't know, but it does give a lot of the other players a chance to win points. And, you know, because technically Ashley Barty, if healthy, can essentially win all of these tournaments. I mean, that's what the reality is. Her style is so versatile. Her anything from her serve to her IQ, her athletic ability. And she's been working really hard the last 4 or 5 years, and it shows. Hard work works. Nonetheless, back to the draw. Jelena Ostapenko, the heavy-hitting forehand and backhand. Did she spend the last couple weeks working on her fitness? Because her form is there. If she can get a little more fit, she's going to be a problem. Emma Raducanu, hey, she's in attendance, so she's healthy. There's been a lot of controversy on whether or not she was really injured. In contrast, she's been withdrawing from a lot of tournaments lately, claiming injury. Is she healthy? How will she do? She has a large following, a huge following that have come over from overseas to watch her play. Hey, I don't know. Elena Svetlana, our hearts and prayers are with Ukraine. There's a lot on her mind. She said she had to leave. She had to flee Ukraine overnight, much like Diana Yashdrimka did. Her parents chose to stay behind. She speaks with her parents frequently, and they said they hear bombs and missiles and rockets going off all night. They're running out of food and water. Elena said she feels helpless. She can do nothing about it. Even with all of her money and resources, it's a war. She can't just go in and get her parents out. Very tough situation. Yashdrimka, who's won this event twice, she plays her best tennis at the Indian Wells. Unbelievable. How will she do? Jessica Pegula, who has been known as a giant killer the last year and a half to 2 years, is she going to take down some big names in this tournament? She's going to have to if she wants to win this tournament. Angelique Kerber, the crafty lefty, couple slams under her belt. Hey, she's still hanging around. I mean, she's what is she, 33, ranked 15? Hey, watch out for her. Corey Golf, if she could win the Indian Wells, it's going to propel her. Now, I did a video maybe last week, a couple weeks ago, just talking about how I feel at only 17, they're just throwing her in the fire. And I feel that to some degree, I've seen matches where, especially after the Osaka loss, and she would come back and beat her, but I just felt that with her crying and being too emotional, I felt they were throwing her in the fire. Put her in some of these lower level tournaments so she can win more champions. I mean, she's doing well with doubles. She's got 4 doubles titles already. I think 3 of them with her friend Kate McNally, and she recently won a 5th with Jessica Pegula, but actually, no, that was her 4th, I think. Yeah, that was her 4th. But nonetheless, I mean, I feel they're throwing her in the water. If they can let her win some of these, for example, if she went to Mexico, she could easily won Mexico, and got another title. If they can, continue to work with her, she's got the best coaching and training in the world. But nonetheless, hey, she's only going to get better playing the best in the world. So maybe that's the strategy. If she could win in Indian Wells, I feel that's going to propel her instantly. She's already in the top 20. She's only 17. When she grows up, the tour is going to be in trouble. Rabinkina, is she healthy? If she is, she can easily go deep into this draw with her power. She does struggle against a lot of these shorter, more versatile, experienced players, but watch out for her. Leylah Fernandez, she went pretty deep last October. Leylah Fernandez got the tools, okay? 1 of 5 teenagers on tour. We just talked about Corey Golf that are within the top 100, wreaking havoc. Leylah Fernandez can win this tournament. I watch her play closely. She's working hard on her backhand, her forehand. She's athletic, she's vertical, she's fit, she's in form, and she has the IQ. She's a much smarter player than I think people notice or realize. Watch out for Leylah Fernandez. She can win this tournament. She can beat any of these ladies in this tournament. Elise Mertens, how's Elise gonna do? Struggles against a lot of the stronger players. We'll see. Kunamatova, she can always go a couple rounds into the draw. Watch out for her. Belinda Bencic as well. If she's in form, she could be a problem. Simona Halep, defending previous champion, not defending, I'm sorry. Paula Badosa is the defending champion, but Simona Halep won it in 2015. If she's fit, she can make it to the quarterfinals very easily. Madison Keys, she looked really great at Adelaide and Australia. Struggling a little bit. Early exits in Mexico. Didn't really like how she looked. We'll see what's going on there. Sershu, we saw the instant classic with Diana Yashdrimka. I felt that's a match she's got to win. That was a very tough loss for her. I feel she's the better player than Yashdrimka, but Yashdrimka was playing with a lot of emotion, and Yashdrimka's ground stroke's very powerful. I felt she just overpowered Sershu, but nonetheless, Sershu is probably the better all-around player. Kvitova, what can she do? She's still got it, having to withdraw last tournament, but she's shown some signs of greatness. The silver medalist, Vondrousova, what is she going to show us? Clara Tauson, the hard-hitting Clara Tauson. So the draw here, it's stacked, okay? We have a lot of the really, really great players that are healthy, they're active, and this is going to be a great tournament. Let's get into the preview and predictions right now. Looking at the seeded players 1 through 16, instantly I see a few players that can win this thing outright. I like Anett Kontaveit. Anett Kontaveit can beat any of these ladies. If she doesn't run into Iga Swiatek, Anett Kontaveit can easily win this tournament outright. She previously had a 20-plus match hard win streak, and the reality here is she's made it to at least the quarterfinals and 7 of the last 8 tournaments that she's played in, and the reality here is she's got a chance to do the same thing here. Iga Swiatek, Iga can simply beat anyone in this tournament. The reality is that simple. However, if her serve is not on, she can be beaten. Barbara Krejcikova, if Barbara gets her rhythm and timing down, if she's been practicing, she can win this. And of course, Paula Badosa can repeat. Paula Badosa can beat any of these ladies. Jelena Ostapenko, with her power, if she took the last couple weeks to just work on her form, which she showed she's in shape. She's been playing a lot of 3-set matches, but with her power, she can hit anyone off the court. And Corey Gauff, she's young, she's fit, she has the tools, she has the best coaching and training there is. Corey Gauff can win this tournament. Looking at the lower half of the seeded players, I like a few players here that can go pretty deep into the draw. First of all, Leylah Fernandez. Leylah Fernandez, I don't think she gets a lot of credit for her IQ. She's a younger player. She only has 2 singles titles, and she literally just got them within the last couple of years. But I heard, and I forget his name, but one of the announcers at the US Open, when she made it to the quarterfinals, was really disrespectful to Leylah. And he pretty much said, in a nutshell, someone that has 1 singles title, very little experience, I don't give her any chance to make the finals. And that was really disrespectful. Leylah Fernandez has a very high tennis IQ. You can see it the way she's been dismantling some of these bigger names lately. And a lot of times, a lot of the top names, we don't see them get the majors or go deep in some of these popular tournaments like the Indian Wells. Sometimes it's just a tough draw. Look at Sloane Stephens versus Naomi Osaka. 2 great players, 2 former slam champions. Do we really want to see them playing in the first round? I mean, is it going to be a great match? It is, but sometimes it's the luck of the draw, and a lot of these ladies sometimes just have tough draws. And the reality here is you're putting 2 former slam champions up against each other. Unbelievable. How about Belinda Bencic? Belinda Bencic can go deep into this draw. We saw her do it at the US Open. It was just tough luck. She ran into a very hot streaking Emma Raducanu. I had Belinda Bencic winning the US Open. Emma Raducanu spoiled that. But the reality here is Simona Halep, okay? She can beat any of these ladies. I'm sure she's been practicing the last couple of weeks very, very hard. And Kvitova has looked really, really good, especially on the early leg of the Australian tour. Before withdrawing due to injury, she's looked really good, really formed, and really in shape. And she can go deep into this draw, and you never know what can happen, okay? Ladies get injured, ladies have bad games, anything is possible. But you know what? Let's break down the draw. I'm going to tell you who will get past the first round. Now, I'm going to try to go in order of play as much as possible. However, scheduling conflicts do happen. Matches go longer than expected. Sponsors, there's TV situations where certain stars are needed to be on certain courts. So, but nonetheless, I'll try to go in order of play as possible. Elise Cornet, the veteran French woman, will have the first round bye. And however, I will see her playing Rebecca Peterson in the second round. And watch out, Elise Cornet has not looked good since the Australian Open. Rebecca Peterson, that could be an upset alert right there. And we have Baptiste versus Asia Tomljanovic. You know how I feel about Asia Tomljanovic. She can get out of the first round. However, she makes a lot of mistakes, a ton of mistakes. That's a match that you probably want to consider taking the over. However, I do think Asia should win that matchup. But either way, I like Sersu to defeat either one of them. And I do like Martic to get by the first round. That's a favorable matchup for her there. Zidensek and Samsonova, they have the bye. I do like Lee, who's been struggling a little bit lately. This is a favorable matchup for her as an underdog. I do like Lee to win that matchup. And I would recommend Jill Teichmann as a favorite. She should win that matchup and advance to the second round. Putintseva with the potential matchup with Teichmann. That's going to be interesting. I like Jasmine Poliani to get out of the first round, and she will face Sabalenka. She will give Sabalenka a run for her money, just being fit, athletic, and just a handful to deal with. Kvitova has the bye. Mertens has a bye. Kasuk, I would take Kasuk to win that match. She's one of 5 teenagers on tour that is just wreaking havoc. She's representing her country, Ukraine, and she has a lot to play for. She's going to be passionate, and I like Kasuk to face Mertens. And Mertens Kasuk, that's going to be a really good match. Potential upset alert. Seville versus Zhang, 2 qualifiers. This is a tough match to call. I would probably recommend a play on the over because both of these ladies are going to be fighting to stay in this contest. And the reality here is Seville, that win over Emma Raducanu was huge. And both of these ladies have routed the lower level qualifier competition pretty easily. Zhang has looked very impressive though. Zhang is winning 75% of her service game. She's not double faulting. She's hitting aces, and she's just not giving up break points. She's not even getting to that point. Seville, on the other hand, has been starting off slow lately. She's been getting broken, and her serve hasn't looked that well. So I do like the over, but if I had to pick someone, I'd probably pick Zhang just because he's playing much more consistent. But it is a 50-50 match, but if I had to pick, I would pick Zhang to win that. And guys, some of these matches I'm just going to breeze through. The first rounds are pretty easy for the most part. The matches that need in-depth explanation, that are a little more popcorn worthy, I will give much more in-depth analytical explanations. Victoria Azarenka is going to have a bye. Either way, she would beat either Linette or Petrovic. But I think it's worth a shot taking the slight underdog, Magni Linette, on that. Linette is a front runner. Although she looks fit, she does gas if it goes 3 sets. I like the over, but I do like Linette as the underdog. Alison Van Upwick has been playing really good lately. She'll advance to face Rabinkina, and she's going to give Rabinkina a run for her money, but I think Rabinkina is going to be too strong, and she will advance either way. Fernandez is going to have the bye. Her with the potential matchup with Anastasia, that's going to be fireworks. Whew, that's going to be fireworks. Get your popcorn. I will be watching that. That's pay-per-view worthy. Fernandez versus Anastasia, I will do a full breakdown on that. Diaz versus Shelby Rogers. Shelby Rogers, man. I mean, if you can if you can make her beat you with her forehand, Diaz, that's a matchup. I like Diaz with the upset on there. Diaz with the upset over Shelby Rogers. That's going to be impressive if Diaz can pull that off. But I'm going to take a shot with Diaz. And what's next here? Ostapenko and Jessica Pegula, they both have buys. So let's see what we got next here. Garbiñe Muguruza and Paula Badosa, they both have buys. That brings us to Heather Watson and Martinkova. Heather Watson, she's been struggling with lower level qualifiers going 3 sets. And Heather Watson is much better than, it's like she plays down to her competition. I'm going to take Martinkova to defeat Heather Watson. Definitely like the over in that one. Ocean Dodden versus Juvan. Juvan has been playing, she's been playing very well. I like Juvan as a slight favorite over Ocean Dodden. A match Dodden can win, but I do like Juvan. I like Juvan to beat that. I like Juvan to beat her. So definitely take Juvan. And Juvan would face Turmo in the next round. I'll do a breakdown of that. That's popcorn worthy. Juvan can definitely beat Turmo. That's going to be very good. And Katie Valinets playing Russ. Katie has been giving the wild card, and Russ, I like Russ to advance there. Zhang, I like to advance to face Kerber, who has the bye, and Svetlana will also have the bye. Svetlana will face the winner of Conj and Dart, and the reality here is Dart looked very exhausted tonight. She looked tired, and I think she's going to first round exit here. I'm going to take Conj, the underdog, to beat Dart, just because Dart looked very exhausted last match. Alright, get your popcorn as we focus on the lower level of the draw. And I have Alexandrova, who hasn't looked good lately. I do have her advancing to the second round. Victoria Tomova, who she's looked good against these qualifiers. She's going to face Golf, but I have Corey Golf taking her to school in that one. That's going to be a great matchup. Get your popcorn. Emma Raducanu, she will have the bye. How will Emma look? That I will do a full breakdown of her second round matchup. Diana Yashdrimka versus Caroline Garcia, 2 of the women that made it to the semifinals in France. Yashdrimka is playing for a higher cause. When you're playing and fighting for something other than yourself, a lot of times that energy can carry over. Caroline Garcia, this is a winnable match for her, but I'm going to take the slight favorite Yashdrimka to knock out the veteran Caroline Garcia, just because Yashdrimka, she's playing for her whole country. And I think she's going to pull off she is a slight favorite, but this is a match that it's really 50-50. Caroline Garcia can easily win this match, but I think Yashdrimka's ground strokes might be a little too much for Caroline, whose movement hasn't looked good lately. And Yashdrimka's, she's serving aces. She is making a lot of mistakes, but she's serving aces. Her ground strokes are powerful, and she's playing with a cause. So I have Yashdrimka advancing to face Emma Raducanu, and that's an upset alert. Emma versus Yashdrimka is an upset alert. Pliskova is going to have the bye, and Iga Swiatek will have the bye as well. Clara Buell, I have Buell winning that matchup, just too much power. Haddad Mia versus Kennen. Alright, so this is a matchup I have my popcorn for. Mia is the favorite, and the reality here is Mia's been active. She's been playing some pretty tough competition. She beat Buskova the other night, and that was a really good win over Buskova. And the reality here is Buskova's form is probably better where Kennen is right now. I imagine Kennen should have been practicing the last month, getting fit, getting in form. This is a very winnable matchup for Kennen, and I'm going to recommend a play on the underdog, Sofia Kennen. We're going to take one last chance at her. This is a matchup she should win. The reality here is we're talking former world ranked number 4th and just a couple of years ago. She get her form back. She's had surgery. She's had injuries. She's had a lot going on. She seems depressed. She's overweight. We're going to take Sofia Kennen to upset Mia in the first round. Sofia Kennen, the wild card, will advance to the second round. And the reality is, the reasoning is pretty simple. Sofia Kennen's a defensive player. If we get anything, if Sofia Kennen that shows up today is anything like the 2019, early 2020 Sofia Kennen, if we get 70% of her defense will be enough to force Mia to make mistakes and get the double breaks in each set and win the match. It's as simple as that. Sofia Kennen, the underdog, advances to the second round. Sofia Kennen would get Clara Tauson in the following round if she can get the victory. Tough match, but the reality here is very winnable match for Sofia Kennen. She has a clear path to the round of 32 if she's focused and she's been working hard. Kukova versus Rus. That's going to be a good match there. Kukova's tough. That's a good one. I'd probably take Rus to beat Kukova. Kukova's strong. She's a short center of gravity, a lot of power on her forehand, but I think Rus all around is just playing better, and she'll win. Either way, Anett Kontaveit will make easy work out of either one of them, but I do like Rus to advance. The Greek goddess Sakri will have the bye, and Sinakova Begu. It's going to be a pretty good matchup there. I think it's a winnable matchup for Sinakova. Sinakova is a good doubles player, and she really frustrates her own self in singles, but I think Sinakova can beat Begu. Even though Begu's been a lot more active, this is a very winnable matchup for Sinakova, and I think Sinakova will win, probably go 3 sets though. And a couple matches that were cut off. I like Shreff and Fretch to go over. That's a match that I like. That's definitely going to over. That's going to be a tough match for both of them. And if I had to pick one, I'd probably take Magdalena Fretch to win that, a close match. Again, another match that was cut off due to the full bracket not being able to fit inside the window on the computer screen. But Kanepi versus Montgomery, that's a match I like Kanepi to win. Just her power, she's gonna simply hit through anything Montgomery has to offer. So Kai Kanepi to win that matchup. But remember, if you can drag Kanepi into the third round, you got a shot. She does gas. And a match that's going to be really, really good, really a toss-up. Anastasia Padukova versus Masaki Dua. And the reality here is these ladies, they've split the head-to-head. This is a match that I do like to go over. However, Masaki, she presents a lot of problems to a lot of players. She's only 5'3", she's very short, she's left-handed, very fast, versatile. So I like it to go over, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Masaki to advance there. And before I get into the last 2 matches of the first round, which will be complete thrillers, I just want to transition really quick to the WTA finals in Lyons, France, where Zhang had to deal with a lot of adversity. I haven't seen this type of adversity on tour since maybe the Williams sisters and Indian Wells before they boycotted it. And Zhang was dealing with horrible calls from the linesmen, the chair umpire, and fans just completely disrespecting her. Here she's pointing at a fan that was just talking so much junk while she's trying to serve. And although he wanted Yashdrimka to win, she's playing for her country, she was very emotional. It would have been the storybook ending. It just wasn't meant to be. I felt Zhang was the better player. I told my Patreons to take Yashdrimka the first set because she's going to come out with a lot of emotion and her ground strokes were really good. But I said Zhang would figure it out, adjust, and she would win the match, and the match would go 3 sets. So 3 for 3 in one match. It was a great tournament this past weekend. But Zhang, congratulations, and Yashdrimka's going to have her hands full with Garcia. I feel the matchmakers are doing a great job with the matches, and the next 2 matches that we are going to cover, the matchmakers are doing a really good job with, and they're going to be very entertaining. And one of those matches will feature this young lady right here, but first I want to take a look at her chance to win her first singles title of her career, Osorio championship point in Monterrey, Mexico. She actually had 5 match points and she blew all of them, and something happened that we never seen before. On her last match point, the lights went out. For 30 minutes, fans were left in the dark, and this is Leylah Fernandez complaining to the WTA supervisor and the chair umpire to replay the point. That's right. She asked to replay the point, claiming in the middle of the point the lights went out, which affected her ability to score. However, it did not essentially affect the point, as Osorio had already hit the winner as the lights were going out. This is Leylah Fernandez in her cap pose. The 30 minutes waiting in the dark, Leylah Fernandez was stretching, staying loose. Osorio was not stretching or staying loose. She was sitting down for much of the time, and Leylah Fernandez came out and she would close it. The inexperience showed on Osario's part, and her sitting here just by herself has to be one of the most saddest images on tour so far this season. I feel if the lights did not go out, she would have won the championship. She had the momentum. Her confidence was there. She was enthusiastic. She was pumped up. And it seemed like Leylah Fernandez, her fight was all but gone. But the power outage, it gave Leylah the chance to just get loose, stay loose, and just focus on a game plan on how to save this championship point, which she did immediately. She immediately saved the championship point. She ran off 2 winners, and she would jump out in front in the tiebreak. And it was just heartbreaking seeing Osorio on the bench there, and just after the match, just so sad. She knew she had the opportunity, she blew it. But the reality here is, despite the lights being out, she still had several match points before that happened. She had 4 more match points before that point, so she had a chance to win. So nonetheless, it's a part of the game. Now she will take on Sasnovich. And Osorio, she's going to take on Sasnovich. Now these two ladies have split the head-to-head. It's 1-1. But this is my lock of the day. Take it to the bank. Camila Osorio is going to have a hangover. I don't think the Mexico match is out of her head. It's just too much of a heartbreaker. Osorio does have a singles title under her belt. I think I said earlier she did not. That was an error. She does have 1 singles title. Sasnovich does not have a singles title though, but Sasnovich will beat Camila Osorio. That is the lock of the day. Take it to the bank. You saw the problems that Osorio had with Leylah Fernandez towards the tiebreak in the earlier half of the match. Osorio had a ton of problems dealing with Leylah Fernandez's athletic ability, and she's going to have a ton more problems dealing with Sasnovich's athletic ability. Even though Camilla's been a lot more active lately these past couple weeks, Sasnovich is always in shape. She's always fit, and you know she's practicing and just working on her game in preparation for the Indian Wells. And I think this is going to be a straight set victory for Sasnovich. That's the lock of the day. Sasnovich will beat Camila Osorio. And let's get to the main event. Get the popcorn popping and let's get into the main event. Sloane Stephens versus Naomi Osaka. The return of Osaka. Sloane Stephens, the world's ranked 38th player, she jumped a ton after winning the title in Guadalajara, Mexico. And is she back? Is Sloane Stephens back? Sloane Stephens has 7 singles titles under her belt, with 1 being a major at the U.S. Open. Sloane Stephens is one of the more athletic players on tour. And the reality here is we've been waiting for a return of prime Sloane, which we haven't seen in quite some time. But nonetheless, Sloane is having a pretty decent year. She's 5-1 on the year. The world's ranked former as high as number 3. We saw her make the WTA finals in 2018. And Sloane so far this year on tour, she's holding 68% of her service games, and her return game is 40%. She only has a couple aces on tour, and that's pretty bothersome going into a match like this with Osaka. where Osaka can really just take the ball out of your hands with her serve. We've seen Sloane switch up her game this year with Kamaru, and it seems like Sloane is becoming a rally player. She's keeping the ball in play, and I can tell from watching her many years in the past that the focus with Sloane this year is to just not make errors. She does not want to beat herself, and it seems like she wants to put the pressure on her opponents defensively and have them make mistakes. That could be a problem with a game plan like that, playing someone like Osaka. Osaka plays best against opponents that are defensive and players that do not like to take risks. When you're playing Osaka, the players that take risks and can transfer their offense into defense, that's where Osaka runs into problems. But any players that just like to keep the ball in play and they play defensive waiting for Osaka to make a mistake, that's not how you beat Osaka. You beat Osaka by putting the pressure on her with your offense, turning her offense into defense. And right now, Sloane is not playing that way. Osaka needs no introduction. She has 7 singles titles, with 4 of them being majors, 2 from the Australian Open and also 2 at the US Open, one with the historic Serena Williams 2018 Classic. Osaka serves a ton of aces. She's averaging 6 per match this year, but Osaka's winning 89% of her service games. Her return game is only 36%. This is a matchup here where Sloane does own the head-to-head. Sloane's actually beat Osaka twice, but several years ago at the 2018 WTA Finals in round 1 and also in 2016 Apocalo. But the reality here is this is a matchup where they're essentially headed in 2 different directions, and their game styles are completely different now. Osaka's inactivity, it's going to be a problem. Playing someone like Sloane that's been battle tested the last couple months and someone that has their confidence on high, this is going to be a very challenging match, I think, for both ladies, to be honest with you. My official pick for this match is the over. I like this match to go over 21 games, and this is a match where I think the person that can initiate their offense first will win. Sloane, what bothers me about her offense lately is her offense has been defensive, and that's not going to get it against Osaka. You have to take risks. We saw Amanda Anastasia beat Naomi Osaka by playing very aggressive. We saw Osorio beat Osaka this year as well by Amanda Anastasia ruined the Barty Osaka Australia Open matchup by being aggressive. You saw Amanda Anastasia take shots and put the pressure on Osaka with her offense. When Osaka is forced to play defensive, it really takes away her 1-2 punch and her power. Osaka does a really good job of using angles. Her ground strokes are tremendous. Her backhand, her forehand. Osaka transitions from her backhand to her forehand better than almost anyone on tour. It's especially anyone I can think of right now, maybe Annette Kontaveit. But the reality here is Osaka's really good with her angles, and her serve almost immediately puts her opponents at a disadvantage in the service game, in the rallies. So the reality here is this is a tough match to call. And the reality, my official prediction is I like this match to go over. I do like it to go over. I would lean with Osaka getting the victory. However, this is a match that Sloane can win because Osaka hasn't played, and when you're going into a historic tournament like this that everyone wants to win for the huge purse, for the huge amount of points, 650 points, the reality is this match, that is a official 100% pick that will hit. I like this match to go over with the lean to Naomi Osaka. It's a shame we get these 2 great champions in the first round. This is not something that we want to see in the first round. At least second round, let the ladies get a win under their belt, let them get comfortable, let them get warmed up. The first round, it's a tough match because someone's O has to go. But nonetheless, get your popcorn. That's going to be a good match. This has been good energy, guys. Who's going to win the Indian Wells? Smash the comment button. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Let me know who wins the whole thing. This is good energy. I'll be back tomorrow with the second round preview and prediction video. Until then.